Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. We're here talking about the greatest ever Premier League team. Liverpool have just lifted their first EPL title, their first league title in 30 years. And it has been a colossal season on the back of winning the Champions League, of course, as well. They're on their way to break Premier League records. They will clear the 100-point margin. There's no doubt. We want your views and your opinions on who you think the best is, but we have created a metric. We're going to review that now. We're joined by a couple of guests. And then we're going to run the numbers. Then we're going to go through and see who comes out on top. And then we're going to put Liverpool going to be the only team. You could argue the current City team is still the current City team and the current Liverpool team are still active. So we're going to look at what they need to do and achieve in the coming years to either stay at the top or push themselves into the top, depending on what comes out. We haven't run any of this yet. So we have absolutely no idea what this is going to look like at all. Who's coming out top, second, third, fourth. It's EPL teams only, not greatest English teams ever, but the greatest Premier League teams ever. We're going to jump in and introduce our guest this evening. We've got Callum from Coppish and we've got Dan from Devil in the details. Boys, how you both doing?
Good, thank you, bro. Thanks for having me on, man.
Not a problem. Dan, you well, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, look, I wanted to do this, and what I will say as well to you boys, we'll go through it in a moment. I know you had a brief look already. The idea of this is to create it today, and then the Football Terrace keeps it. It keeps it as our metric moving forward. You know, in 3 years' time, if Chelsea is smashing it, we're the greatest ever. We run the metric again and see where it weighs up. I think we could sit here and just purely talk about our favorite team and whose title winning season was the best, what was hardest, but that all becomes very subjective. If we look at the cold, hard facts, which, by the way, Liverpool and United fans on here, we care about the cold, hard facts. What did we win? You know, Liverpool fans don't care that a lot of people think the European competition in the 80s was weaker than it was in the 90s. The fact is, you won those European trophies. There's no doubt about it. You know, the Premier League was easier in the 90s. Yeah, but we won it. You know, if it was easy, that means we weren't as good either. We still won it. So we're not looking for any of that. We'll jump in now and take a quick look at the metric, and then we'll debate that a little bit, make sure we're all happy with it. Of course, we'll interact with your live comments as well. And we'll go and we'll jump in from there. Let's go straight into it, though. So this is the first bit. So this is the point system for the greatest EPL team. And we are looking at multiple trophies because we think it's important because you'll be playing more than one competition at the same time. So this is the basic point scoring phase. So a team wins 1 point for being League Cup finalist, 2 points for winning it, 2 points for FA Cup finalist, 5 points for winning it, 5 points for Europa League finalist, 10 points for winning it, 7 for Champions League, 15 for winning it, 4 points for a top 4 finish, 6 points if you're the EPL runners-up, and 15 points for winning the league. On that list, is there anything that stands out as being too high a score or too low? Or any thoughts on it?
I don't think you should get a point for being a League Cup finalist, to be honest. I don't think that's necessary. It's not a major trophy. Yeah, even the FA Cup, I'm not sure if you need 2 points for being a finalist in that. What I would say is maybe you've got 15 points for the Premier League and Champions League. Are those equal achievements? Is the Champions League not considered a bit more prestigious? Could we have that 20 points for a Champions League winner instead, is what I'm wondering.
What do you think, Callum?
I get where you're coming from. Dan, you said it was, right?
Yes, Dan. Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. I do think you should keep the finalists for the FA Cup and the League Cup because I do think there's squad management there, and that can affect your Premier League sort of standing and the way you approach Premier League matches, because you will often have to think, if you are going to take the competition seriously, that you've got to look into that. In terms of calling the Champions League or Premier League, I think the Champions League is probably held in high regard across Europe. However, I think your bread and butter League Cup is, I think they're equally as important as each other personally.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few people saying maybe 10 points for a Champions League final, 20 points for winning it. I mean, I don't mind increasing the points. It's just because it's really it's what. But then we're saying Champions League winning is harder than winning a league title. Most people say winning a league is the hardest thing to do because it's over 38 games.
Depends on the league. But
true. EPL though, we know it's a tough league. So maybe I look at that. Maybe I look at it and say if I was to look at this now, I don't know why I'm doing this because I've got to push. This is not working for me now. Why am I not able to edit this? I don't want to move that. And hang on a sec, people. There we go. So maybe if I change the Champions League final to 10 points, which I'm fairly comfortable with, 20 points for winning it. Maybe increasing the Premier League to 20 points as well. Keeps them both quite prestigious, but you get more points for doing it. As I'm kind of cool with doing that, and I don't know why it's changed my my screen to that sharing. It should have kept it on the that one. I don't know why I did that, so maybe I'll have to go back and do that again. Let me just reshare that screen again, boys. Sorry about that.
No.
It doesn't normally do that. It did this time. Now, there we go. So we've changed that round, which is cool. Got the next level. Now, this is the interesting one. So a lot of people saying, "Oh, Sky Sports have already done this." Well, Sky Sports didn't add the right level of bonus points because I think for me, bonuses are important. So you can see we've added 2 additional points if you win the League Cup and FA Cup in the same season. 5 points for League Cup and Premier League. 10 points for FA Cup and Premier League, which is the double. If you do a domestic treble or the Europa League and 2 domestic cups, we put 12 points. 15 points for the Champions League and 1 domestic cup. 18 points for a Champions League and 2 domestic cups. We did 20 points for the Premier League and Champions League together, and then 25 points for the treble.
I know that I'm probably saying this being a biased Liverpool fan, but could we potentially have something for World Club Championships and European Super Cups, or are they just not sort of seen in the same light? Because I mean, I know there are only sort of 1 or 2 games, but in order to get there, you still have to have won something significant.
Okay, so I can look at adding them back to the. If I go back to,
what would you say? So, how many points do you think a World Club Championship is worth? For example,
I knew you were going to ask that. I was hoping you did. I was hoping Terry was going to bite the bullet on that one. I genuinely don't know.
Even a Super Cup, it's they're. Would we say they're the equivalent to a FA Cup? Or I don't think they are because it's just 1 game.
I know.
They are more prestigious Community Shield matches. That's what they are.
I wouldn't say the World Club Championship is. I think that argument is valid for the Super Cup, for the European Super Cup. I think that is a valid argument. I wouldn't say so for the World Club Championship because, in essence, that's almost a mini Champions League because it's the champions of all the continents, isn't it, coming together in one competition.
Okay, so what I've done, and we'll see what you think of this. Hopefully, it switched back around for me now. It has. So what I have done. I've added 5 points for winning the Super Cup and 7 points for winning the World Club Championships. Would you say it's fair, or do you think they should be higher weighted?
I think that's fair.
I'd say 3 I'd say 3 for the Super Cup and 5 for the World Club Championship. World Cup, yeah, that's what
I mean, I look at it like obviously we'll know this. United have won that twice in both their the teams that are probably going to be entered into this. So it's not like we're not being biased here. Like we've won that tournament twice ourselves. Yeah. So I mean,
I think the FA Cup is harder to win than the World Club Championship. That's why I can't have it being 7 points.
Well, if we look on here, we've got the FA Cup is in it being 5 points.
Yeah, so I think it should be equal to the FA Cup. To be honest, with
you have to win the Champions League to get there. So maybe you'll be rewarded.
Yeah, but you've already done that. You've achieved that. It's a separate tournament. It's still a separate tournament. I think it's 4 matches or
And Charles
I don't think the World Cup. I think the FA Cup is harder to win.
3 and 5.
Once the Champions League winner gets into that World Club Championship, they're likely to win it. The FA Cup for me, it's a harder competition.
In the essence of fairness, and I don't want to make it more complicated for you, Terry. Should Community Shields be in there as well? Then,
I mean, we can't. I mean, I'm cool with that. So we're saying 3 points for the Super Cup, and how many for the World Club Championships? 5.
Yeah.
I am again. I'm always cool with stuff like that because I feel like everyone's sort of being fair in that regard. Because
then again, I don't. If I got that right, what do you think, Adam? I know you just joined.
About the World Club Championship being how many points? Sorry, was it 3?
So 5 points. So it was 7 at first. I'm saying it's the FA Cup's probably harder to win, but of course you need to win the Champions League to get there. So I think it shouldn't be more than an FA Cup.
Yeah, probably not.
But then I'm wondering, is the Super Cup 3 points? Is that fair now? I'm starting to.
I think,
I think so.
yeah. As an
Fuck that one.
isolated thing, as an isolated competition, I definitely think the FA Cup should be worth more points than the Club World Championship because you're playing against bloody Al Hilal from bloody. So yeah, nah, man. I think it definitely should be worth more than that.
So what I've done, I've had a Community Shield in. I put a point in for the Community Shield. I'm not putting it. I'm not going to put more in than a point for the Community Shield. And then on here, I've put in Super Cup is 3 points, World Club Championship 5 points. So we're including all the trophies that can now be won in that period as an example. The next lot of bonus points is 10 points if you retain, go back-to-back Premier League titles, 20 points for 3 in a row. And this is how people know this is for future-proofing. It's 30 points if you win 4 titles in a row. Maybe that shouldn't be higher, because
I'd put that higher. I'd give that 40
higher. I put 20 points for back-to-back Champions Leagues as an additional to win it. Of course, so what you'd get if you won 2 on the bounce, you'd get 20 points for each Champions League, and then another 20 points on top for doing it as an example. 50 points on top if you do 3 Champions Leagues, 10 points for being unbeaten in the EPL, and 10 points for achieving 100 points or more in the EPL. So we've already said we think that 4 titles on the bounce should be more. Should we whack that up to 50?
I was going to start with the 3 league titles in a row. Why is 3 Champions Leagues like worth 30 points more than 3 league titles?
Because that's it's hard.
It's a cup competition. The Premier League's a marathon. That's like what? That's like
man.
You've had to be consistent over, my math is terrible, 30, 60, 90, 98, 100, and over 115 matches. That's 115 matches, 3 seasons straight, where you were the best in your league over a 3-year period, with FA Cup, League Cup, and other things included. Like that for me is worth more than 20. If the Champions League is 50, I think 3 league titles in a row is worth 30. I'd say 4 league titles in a row is worth 50 points easily.
But what if the competition that year was low?
Yeah, but it's what do you mean?
Yes.
Like I'm for me, I get so. For instance, look at Bayern Munich. They've won how many titles in a row?
Yeah, we're talking EPL though.
I know, I get it. But then we've seen some years where some teams, some of the best teams, have shockers in the transfer market, and the competition really isn't that great. So yeah, you got one team that's far and away the best, but they weren't really matched up by much.
Yeah,
so for 2 of those 4 years, they might not have been
30 years. In 30 years, no one's won it more than 3 on the bounce anyway. So like the likelihood of someone going 4. So let's just go back. So in terms of, I'm just editing this up now. So in terms of looking at, so we want to increase 3 on the bounce to how many points?
35, 30, 35.
I think 30. I'd do 30.
Yeah.
So if it's 4 on the bounce, we're going to say how much?
That's 50.
Yeah, it should be 50.
That's insane. If Liverpool do that like everyone says they're going to do and dominate for the next 10 years or whatever it is, then...
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Are we happy with 20, for 2 Champions Leagues on the bounce and 50 for 3? Because that ain't going to probably happen. None of us are going to get that. No team's got that, by the way. So it's not really going to impact.
Real Madrid got 3 Champions Leagues on the bounce.
Yeah, but I mean, like no EPL team has ever done that. So it isn't like anyone's going to gain from it now.
Yeah.
I put 10 points for invincibles. Should that be higher?
Bro, come on, man.
100 points, right, Adam? 100 points for that, yeah?
What's this?
I don't know.
Do you know what it is? It's because only one team's ever done it. So it's like
should we say 20 points?
Just give it a little 25. I'll be happy with that.
A little 25.
No, we'll do 25. That's cool. What about a team getting over 100 points?
I think if going Invincibles 25. This is where it gets tough because, in my opinion, if you go Invincible, and again, I know I'm going to be seen as throwing shade on Arsenal fans, and I'm not, but you do 12 games, so your win ratio is not going to be as high as a team that won or amassed over 100 points. And I think win ratio is better than say going unbeaten, because win ratio is what everyone wants. Everyone wants the W, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to throw shade. I
put 25 in for both.
I don't even think it should be in there. I don't think 100 points should even be in there.
Why?
Oh.
Because if we're not going to, again, it's a. If you want to include 100 points, then we have to start debating the standard of the league when the team got 100 points. In my opinion.
Yeah, but I feel like that's
because some years are more competitive than others. Like
I do get that, but then some years, you know, you could look at a cup run, for instance. Look at City's cup runs in the last couple of years. They barely played a difficult team, but it's the luck of the draw. You know, I'll quote Ricky Gervais, "Luck of the draw, boy." Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just get that. I feel like,
but then why not include clean sheets or goals scored as well? Like,
I get that. That's fair. I mean, we could add that nuance, but I think
because we know that in one season. So, for example, this is when I knew Arsenal were finished as a top club. All Arsenal had to do the year that Leicester won the league title would maintain their mediocre standards from the year before. They would have been champions. Do you know what I mean? That the standard that year was what 84, 85 points. I think. Like it gets every year it changes. Just because it's 100 now. You know, I don't know. I don't think
I'm not going to add clean sheets or anything like that. And I want to keep it in there because I think it's a massive, massive achievement. Clean sheets and goals. I mean, look, you could score one goal a game and keep all the clean sheets. You'd have over 100 points. So that leads to the winning, I think. But I don't think it's going to make a great deal of difference to the overarch. I think it's there, and I want to put them in there though because if you don't include invincibles and over 100 points. All you'll get is City fans and Arsenal fans, for instance, go, it's never going to be fair because we ain't won Champions League yet, as an example. What I would say is I have no idea how this is going to end up.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So you see how we said the greatest EPL point system?
Yep.
How come we're including Champions Leagues and stuff?
Because we're talking about the greatest team. And what I mean by that is just the greatest teams who have played in the Premier League. And I think that, you know, Arsenal, for instance, winning a double as an example is an amazing achievement. United winning a treble, you're winning that league title, but you're also winning multiple tournaments at the same time. It's like when you look at boxers, the greatest boxers are the ones that, you know, have 2 or 3 different world titles at the same time, undisputed. Do you get what I mean? It's we're looking for that, and then it's how regularly you can keep winning and how long you sustain your dominance in football. You know, we all look at Blackburn and Leicester all won the league, and it's a great achievement. But what else did they win before and after that? Like literally nothing. So they can't be the greatest. So I want to look. I think the amount of trophies you win need to be. If you look at Liverpool and Man United and Arsenal, why are we looked at as the biggest 3 teams in England? Because of the vastness of trophies we've won. The only reason we're calling it the EPL is that's the league we play in. Essentially, we could say greatest English teams. We could, but that's there. In terms of rules, I put 4 rules in so far. It's assessed over a 5-season period. The first season of that 5 years is triggered from the first trophy won with a minimum core of 5 players that must remain for that 5-season period.
Raw.
Then it's the same team, right? A minimum core of 5 players. So Chelsea are a great example. Chelsea from, say, 04, like, you know, Cech, Terry, Lampard, Drogba, Cole. Like, there's a core.
Yeah.
That's it. There's a core group that were there for that period of time. Man United have got the core. Liverpool right now, look at Liverpool's core. They're there. Arsenal, you had a core in your great days because Arsenal were great before you started selling all your players. Hey. But managers can change in that because if Jurgen Klopp inexplicably had to leave today, that isn't the end of this Liverpool team. They might not win as much, but it's there. So that's kind of the rules. Is there any other rule that you would throw into this?
I'm wondering if it should be 5 players, so it should be 3 players instead of 5. 5 is actually quite a high number. That's virtually half of your team, pretty much.
Okay, are we all cool with 3? I mean, I'm not like precious on any of these kind of rules or anything. I can change that to 3 players.
3 is fair. 3 is fair.
Stay in the team for 5 years.
We're saying it for 3 for the 5 seasons, which I think every team's got to do.
I don't know if I'm making this too complicated or what, but do they have to be regular starters?
They have to be core. They have to be core to your team.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
that's going to be likely. That's going to be likely for any championship winning team to have at least 3 players. I think 3 is a good number, to be fair.
That will be there for that period of time. So yeah, I think that's a fairly decent set of rules. And then in terms of what it then all looks like, there's simply
should you keep the 5?
Basic table that I made. So I don't know who's in what yet. What I want us to do is because we are assessing where this Liverpool team stack up. So I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna make a note of this because we'll put the screen down as we start because we're gonna go through each team at a time. What will be the 6 teams that we assess? We already know we're going to assess United's treble team and United's team that won the Premier League in the Champions League in 2008. I'm sure they'll be mentioned. I'm sure we're going to put the Invincibles in there. Who else are we going to run? Chelsea's.
Oh, will we? Will we? Because we're including. Because we could easily get 2 City teams in here, 2 United teams in here, maybe 1 Arsenal. Yeah, actually, yeah, you get the Invincibles in there. Do you know what it is? I saw something on Twitter today where somebody put out a list and the Invincibles were not on there somehow. Crazy.
Well, my point is, though, it doesn't really matter because this isn't actually creating the top 6. It's giving sight to what these teams won. So I think if we do the Invincibles, they're a recognizable team. Chelsea's team from 04 onward, like that 5-year period from there. And then I think the current City team.
Centurion.
Yeah, I think because people keep talking about it. So that's 5 teams. Who'd be the 6th team?
Liverpool.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do this Liverpool team. That makes sense. So who are we going to start with? Arsenal or Chelsea?
Let's start with Chelsea. Just allow them for now.
We haven't got anyone with a dog in that fight on the show. I did reach out to some Chelsea fans, but they, as always, they never answer their phones or anything. We've got a comment here that says, agree with the points, but why is it the EPL era? Us older fans do remember football existing before 1992. Well, one of the reasons it's harder to do prior to that is there was a period of time that English clubs couldn't compete in Europe. So it's very difficult for the teams that were winning titles in that period. Plus, none of us on the show were. So I do get your point. But then I don't know what the data's like. I'm just, we're just doing EPL. Sorry.
And there was more teams in the league before that time as well, and points like would have been amassed differently and all of that stuff as well.
Cool. So let's. I'm going to move this back here because I want to make sure I get these points right. So we've got to kind of try and do all this together at the same time here. So if we look at Chelsea's honours as an example. So I've got Chelsea's honours up now in front of me on this screen. So we're going to look at from the 04 season as an example. So where are Chelsea on this? So have I got Chelsea up? I do. Cups. Oh, they do. It's so difficult here. So they won the season in 04-05. So that's one Premier League.
And
they won League Cup as well.
I don't think we can do Manchester City, you know. I just realised.
So sorry, the 2005 ending season. So that year they won the I need to write
League Cup and Prem.
So they won the League Cup and they won the Prem in 2005. Who was in the FA Cup final that year? Do you know?
Arsenal and Man United.
Cool. So they weren't in that. Yeah, that was painful.
That the game when Giggs missed the sitter.
Oh,
that final.
Scholes missed the penalty.
2006, they won the EPL again, and they won the. I swear they won the FA Cup that year. No, they didn't win the FA Cup that year. So they didn't win the FA Cup.
Liverpool won the FA Cup in 2006.
Yeah, they won the league. They won the league that year. They didn't win the League Cup. I know they won the League Cup a couple of times. They didn't win it that season. So they only won one trophy in 2006. Okay. Did they win anything in 2007? They won the FA Cup in 2007. They won the FA Cup, but of course they also finished. Where did they finish in the league that year?
What year?
2007. I want to say they came second. My memory serves me right. I was going to check it now. The Premier League site. I love the Premier League site.
I'll help you out. You're right. They did come second.
They come so second in the EPL because that's going to give them points in that. We need to check. Obviously, they won the FA Cup. Were they in the league? They won the League Cup that year as well. They won the FA Cup and the League Cup that year.
In 2007, yeah.
They won the EFL Cup as well. 2008. They came. Where'd they come in the league, bro?
2008, they came. Switched up very quickly. Well, they came second again.
They come second again that year. FA Cup, they didn't win. League Cup, they didn't win. But they would have got. They got to the Champions League final though. We know that because United won the Champions League final of the Champions League that year. So that's 4 years into their 5 years so far. And then 2009, where they come in
the Prem.
Yeah, United won the Prem. I want to say
third. They finished third.
They're third in the Prem.
That's the year Liverpool challenged with Benitez.
Yeah, they won the FA Cup again. Jesus Christ, they won a lot of cups in that period. You know,
wow, they won bare.
Who was in the League Cup final that year? Do we know?
No.
What a check.
Or was that 2009?
Yeah.
Wasn't that United as well? Didn't they beat Wigan? Was that the year they beat Wigan in the final? In League Cup.
The year before.
Was that the League Cup?
Sure. I mean, Man United won the League Cup in 2006 against Wigan. They also, by the way, won the Community Shield in 2005 and the Community Shield in 2009 as well. That's going to give them a little point. Imagine, Chelsea haven't won the Community Shield since 2009. I find that weird how often they've been in it. Like, they won the Community Shield. There's an extra point. Well done.
Did you get the 05 Community Shield in there as well?
Yeah, that's in there. 05 Community
cool.
Shield is in there.
Cool.
So, yeah, there weren't any other finals. So let's start to... so that's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years. So that's from 2005 until 09 as a 5 year period for them. So this is where it becomes difficult because I've got lots of screens now in here in my office, but now I need even more. So how many league titles they win that time? They won 2 league titles, 2 EPLs, which gives them how many points is that? That's 40. That's 40 points. They won 2 FA Cups. 2 FA Cups. I want to say they won 2 League Cups as well. 2 League Cups. So the FA Cups would give them, that's 10 points in total. 2 League Cups gives them another 4 points. Jeez. 2 Community Shield wins, which puts them on, that's another 2 points for them. Now, they Premier League runners up twice in that period. So 2 runners up gives them another 12 points. Another top 4 finish gives them another 4 points in that.
Make an Excel spreadsheet, bro.
Oh, no, that would have been a lot bloody easier. If I'd have done an Excel spreadsheet, I now got to do a quick map myself. But then we also look at the interesting seasons. So the bonus points that come in. So in 2005, they won the league and they won the League Cup. So that will be a bonus point of, so 2005 bonus points of 5 points. The next year they just won the EPL, so there's no bonus point. But no, they get a bonus point because they goddamn retained the damn thing. Yeah. So that's 10 points. That's 10 points for retaining. Jeez, this is where it starts getting confusing. Yeah, Excel would have worked. Following season, they won the FA Cup and League Cup together. So that's 2 points in 2007. 2 points there. Second and a final in 08. So nothing in 08. And then they won. There's no bonus in 2009 as far as I can see. So that's pretty decent. So I am going to need a calculator to work this out as I do this. I use one on my phone, though, because I can't open any more windows up on here. But that's not – and this will also give us a base point as well to where other teams are going to finish. So that's 40 plus 10 plus 4 plus 2 plus 12 plus 4 plus 5 plus
comment quick maths. Quick.
Yeah. It's got to be done quick, especially as I'm not too bright. So they are obviously I'm going to update this now. So they're going to come in in first position when we first sort of look at this because of course there's nobody else in. So we're going to put Chelsea in first, and we'll have a look at the first league. That's going to be from 2004 to 09, essentially the seasons they cover. Number of trophies, number of points is easy to put in first, which is I said 89 points, and the number of trophies they brought in were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8 trophies in that time period. Oh, I've got these. Do you know what? I put these graphics on, right, to try and make it look nice, and now they're in my way because it's crazy. And that was 8 trophies, as we can see there. So that's pretty decent from their point of view. I'll stick that up on the screen so everybody can have a little look. That's Chelsea currently sitting in first place there. 8 trophies, 89 points as it stands. I'm just going to some of the comments of people coming in here. Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, someone here said Spurs fans. Spurs will get no points.
I was just going to say, you're going to have to do the Chelsea team that preceded that team as well.
Yeah, the Carlo Ancelotti team.
Yeah, I think we can do. I think the idea of this is because obviously we're seeing where Liverpool stack up. So we can run more teams. We can definitely run more teams. We'll do it for others. So we do the Arsenal Invincibles next.
Yeah.
So the interesting bit with the Arsenal Invincibles that I wanted to sort of discuss first of all is where do we start their success from? Because, of course, the Invincible season was the 03-04 season. But, of course, they won the league in
01-02.
01-02.
No, wasn't it? 00-01.
No, 02. Is it 01-02? So I think we start from 01-02. And go 5 years from there because what you can't do is when they won the league in 2008, that doesn't spread 5 years. Sorry, 98. It doesn't spread 5 years to the Invincible season. So there's definitely that. So we have to go from 2000 and the 2000 and season that ended 2002. So we've got 2002, 03, 04, 05, 06 for them.
And they won. Didn't they win the Prem in 2001?
No, that was United. 01 was Manchester United.
Yep, definitely.
One in 01, 02.
Yeah, I've got the list of honours up in front of me. I actually made one.
And then,
sorry.
No, go on, Terry.
I made one little mistake with Chelsea's because they made a Champions League final and I missed that point out. So the Champions League final gives them an extra 10 points. They're actually on 99 points. So I'll go back in and I'll edit that. I just thought of that just then. I want to make this as accurate as possible. So that's 99 points for them as an example. So yes, let's look at.
We got a CL final though.
To make it easier for yourself, Terry, go trophy by trophy instead of year by year.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Premier League wise, so there's one in that EPL in 01, and then we know they won it in 04 at the same time. So there's an EPL in both of those seasons. We then move on to the League Cup. Didn't happen. We go to the FA Cup. Wow, see, this is where Arsenal see this. People disrespect maybe this invincible team because we think what they did that year. So in the 02 season, they won the FA Cup. So that's a little double for them there as an example.
Come on.
They then won the FA Cup in 02-03 as well. So they won it again in 02-03. They then won it. They then won it again in 04-05, the FA Cup again. So that's 3 FA Cup from in that time period. Community Shield wise, they won the Community Shield in 02. They won it in 04 as well. So they've got that there as well. And of course, we know 2005 or 2006 in Champions League final?
2006, yeah. It's the year after Liverpool won it.
Yes, that's it. So that's what you won in that time period. There's nothing else that I can see that you won in that time period. So if we have a quick little look at the points as an example, did you get into?
So we need to include their top 4 finishes as well.
Yes. So they were in the top 4 every year.
Yeah.
I was trying to mock me.
Aren't there bonus points for runners up as well?
Yeah. So yeah, if you can check what years they were runners up for me, that'd be wicked. That'd be wicked.
02, 03, they were runners up.
Yes.
Yep.
Bear with skipping ahead to obviously they won it in 03, 04. Let's look at 04, 05. 04, 05, they were runners up. This is when United were crap for 3 years. I remember this time very, very well.
What about now?
So yeah, runners up in 04, 05. And when did they end? 05, 06.
I'm just going to go and switch on my light, guys, because if it gets any darker, you're only going to be able to see my top of my teeth. So give me a sec, yeah?
Yeah, so 05, 06, they just finished. So the seasons, I've given you seasons for when they were run up. They were in the top 4 the other season. So yeah. Cool.
I'll start adding that up. Do you do me a favor, Adam, while I'm starting to add all that up? Could you check who was in the League Cup finals from 02 to 06 in case I'm not sure I don't think you were in one, but let's just check if you were. I don't want to miss it out. So point wise, so we'll do 02 points first of all. So 02, you won the Premier League, which gives you a nice hefty 20 points. You won the FA Cup, which gives you another 5 points, and you won the Community Shield that gives you 1.
1 point, bro.
Yeah, we just you didn't realize you won so many, so you could have fought for more points. But remember, Man United was there. Be careful. In 03 again, you won the FA Cup and you come second. So FA Cup gives you another 5 points in 03, and a second place gives you 6 points. 04, we've gotten to bonus points in a little while, of course. 04, you won the Premier League and Community Shields. That gives you another 20 points, and it gives you 1 point. 05, it was FA Cup again, which gives you 5 points, and you came in second again, which is another 6. And then 06, you got the Champions League final, which gives you another nice 10 points, and you also came in the top 4, which gives you 4 points. Were there any League Cup finals in that, or FA Cup finals we missed?
League Cup 04 was Middlesbrough, Bolton. 5 was Chelsea, Liverpool. 6 was United, Wigan. So no. So we're going to do the bonus points here. So you won the proper double first time in that. Yes, hang on. What's the proper double? That's 10 points for that. So that's a 10-point bonus for the double. Why are we losing to Wigan, bruv?
Yeah. Any other times you won multiple trophies in 1 year? No. That's the only bonus you get for multiple trophies. But of course, then you have the invincible season, which gives you another 25 points of bonus. This is going to be close with Chelsea, you know. So I think you're going to have more than them. It's 25 plus 10 plus 20 plus 5 plus 1 plus 6 plus 20 plus 1 plus 5 plus 6 plus 10 plus 4. 113 points.
Come on.
113 points. So maybe, you know what? Maybe, and this is why we've done this, because maybe we've been doing the Arsenal Invincible team a little bit dirty all these years by not looking over a 5-year period in all directions. So that started in 2001 and ends in 2006. We've put in, I don't want my mouse keeps disappearing, you know, it's annoying me. So that's 113 points. And how many? Interestingly, that's done through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just 7 trophies, but you've got more points because you achieved more. So Arsenal currently sitting top of the top of the table in relation to their.
It's been a while.
Yes, I'm about to win top in a minute. for a while there, but we'll take a little look at that and put it up on the screen there for any gooners that are tuning in. There you go. You're currently sitting in front of. Do you know what? That Chelsea team is often considered by many to be like the best Chelsea team that's ever played. So again, this is what I'm saying. We haven't run this point. I actually thought Arsenal's Invincibles were going to come in really, really low, but currently
for a single season, that Chelsea team, 2004, 2005, they shut the league down. There was no point watching Chelsea matches. You couldn't even create a chance against them. It was ridiculous.
No, I'd argue Liverpool's current season is just on that level. I think it's
not. There's so many games this season where the opposition let you off. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
That happens in every season.
No. I'm gonna be clear here. Yeah, you did what champions and great teams are supposed to do. If you don't punish us, we will punish you. I'm saying in 04-05, Chelsea didn't even let you get a chance. I had to switch Chelsea games off the TV because the opposition couldn't keep the ball. It was just.
Well, how many games did they lose?
Shut the league down. Mourinho changed the league, introduced a single pivot player. We hadn't seen that in the Premier League before. With a defensive.
How many games did they lose though?
Who knows? I'm just saying, for me, for one season, I just looked at a team like, they shut the league down. Remember, I'm a Man United fan, so it's Man United, Arsenal the entire time, and then this guy pops up with Chelsea and just shuts us down completely.
But how many games did they lose?
Impressive draw.
What point are you saying?
Well, that is my point. You can't say that we've been let off by teams, but we've beaten them and
no, I think you're being oversensitive. I think you're being a typical Liverpool fan.
I'm not being sensitive.
Let me make my point clear. Just my opinion. I'm a Man United fan, remember, but the most impressive team I've seen over one season was that Chelsea team in 04-05. Just for me.
But that's why I'm asking.
What are you saying, bro?
I'm not even being sensitive. I'm asking, how is it that team, you consider it to be great, but we've lost less games potentially than they would have and drawn less, but won more?
Let me check.
No, I don't care what the record. I don't care what. I'm just saying, for what I remember. I just remember looking at that team like, they shut the league down. They just shut Arsenal, Man United down.
The most impressive single season you see.
Say that again? No, for me, that team, the defensive record as well, you couldn't score against them. It was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
All right, then.
Do you remember watching Chelsea in 04-05? Do you remember how just annoying, like, there was no point watching their matches? There's no point watching them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Cool. I love listening to this. I already started on Man United's 1999 treble winning team. I'm just sort of checking here. So we did get to the League Cup final in that year. So what I've done so far on Man, we're moving on to Man United's here treble winning team. So 1999 Premier League, 2000 Premier League, 01 we won the Premier League, 02 we finished top 4, 03 we won the Premier League. FA Cup wise, Man United won it, of course, in 1999, and we that was it. We didn't win it again then until the 04 season, which falls outside of the 5-year period that we're allowed to do this in. We got to one League Cup final, that was in 03, but we didn't win it. Community Shield, we won that in 2003 only in that time period. Of course, we won the Champions League as an example. We didn't win the Super Cup, but we did win in 1999. We won the World Club Championship as well. It was called the International Cup then, but it's the same difference as an example because one took over from the other.
Less points.
That's it.
I mean,
sorry.
I think you should get less points because the branding is not as commercial.
The branding is good. So interestingly, we didn't. It's that era, like you look at an era, you go, okay, cool. So we won the treble, but we didn't win. We only won one domestic cup in this 5-year period, which I thought was quite interesting. I thought we'd have won more domestic cups than that, but we did, because remember, Man United won the FA Cup in 1999, but then didn't win it again until 04, and then didn't win it again until like 2016. So it's quite a long wait. So we'll start to run these points up as an example here. So in 1999, of course, let me just get these points back up in front of me so that I don't lose my way here. So we obviously won the. What do we actually win? Geez, so much.
Those bonus points are going to shut that.
Yeah, the bonus points are going to be really good, of course, for Man United because we've done multiple things. So we won the Premier League, which was 20 points. Won the FA Cup, which we know is 5. Won the Champions League, which is also 20 points. And we won the World Club Championships, which we said earlier on would be
5 points.
That's 5 points there. In 2000, we won just the Premier League. No other cup finals or anything like that. 2001, we just won the Premier League. I mean, it's pretty good to have done that. Yeah. 2002, in 2002 we only made the top 4, so it was only 4 points for us in 2002. Not a particularly great season for Man United. But then in 03, we won the Premier League, which is 20 points. We won the Community Shield, which is 1 point, and we got to a League Cup final, which is another 1 point. We now got to look at the bonus points around United, though. So, bonus points here. We won the treble, that's 25 points. We then won 3 Premier Leagues on the bounce, which is another 30 points as an example.
That's 50 points there. That's half Arsenal's total right there.
Yeah, I mean, so the bonus points are there for us. Have I missed anything we could get points for here? I don't think I have.
No,
we can create new points.
No.
Add to it.
Add this up here. So I'm gonna run quick math again. So 30 plus 25.
Terry, there's no need to double check. If it's a low tally, it's a low tally, bro.
You notice I'm not counting this one as quickly. 5 plus 20 plus 4 plus 20 plus 1 plus 1. Just a mere 171 points.
Jesus
How many?
Christ.
171 points.
117 or 171?
171.
Terry, you brought me on there to get screwed over, innit?
Wow. And that's the 99 team.
I knew it. Do you know
that's the 99 team.
The moment we won the league, Terry's been too nice to me, and he's brought me on there to screw me over. It's the beginning of our cycle. I plead the fifth, man. He's brought me on there to screw me over.
No,
to be fair, though, look, if you guys go on to dominate like everyone says you're going to,
this is kind of the point I'm alluding to.
It'll work out for you.
It's about setting
the standard. You done me dirty, Terry. I'm not going to lie. You done me smart. No, I'm not going to lie.
Number of trophies we won in that time period: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was only 8 trophies in that time period. So it wasn't like a huge. It was winning things back to back. So to give everybody a view of how that looks. And by the way, we haven't run other teams as of yet, but as it looks
come
right
closer,
now,
Adam. Why are you all the way back on the?
That's it.
Because I'm not here. Man said 50 points for a treble. I bet if Arsenal got 1 treble, it'd be worth like what 4 points. Nah.
Boys, I opened it up. I weren't
71 points. Huh?
They've been the best. Right. So what team are we going to run now? So we run. Should we do the City Centurions, the most recent one?
Yeah.
We'll do City Centurions, and we'll start taking a little bit of a butcher's at that. But just have a little bit of anecdotal conversation. How good, Dan, with the Man United 1990? What and that went on for that 5-year period. How good was that Man United era? But remember, that's 4 Premier League titles in 5 years.
domestically, I always say, like, Sir Alex Ferguson just wiped the floor with Wenger. The fact that there was even a debate about who's the greater manager between those two is just hilarious to me. But that team, that golden four midfield, just growing up with that midfield, like just every game knowing Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, David Beckham, that's your midfield every game. Like, it was just you were just proud as a United fan to see that team line up. What I would say is, though, we underachieved in Europe massively. Should have got to more Champions League finals than just the one we got to. But yeah, I've got really, really good memories of that team. Salute to the people in the comments. So that in 04-05, Chelsea only lost one match, by the way.
Yeah, they drew 8 as well.
I think Liverpool fans should be really proud of Jordan Henderson, considering he's better than Scholes. So
yeah, he's better than Roy Keane as well. He's just Jordan Henderson is just probably the greatest midfielder in the Premier League I've ever seen. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel about it.
I wouldn't go that far, but he's definitely better than Scholes, though.
Definitely better than Scholes. 100%.
I think I've been nice to you. I'm not gonna have you lot throw shade though. Not this openly.
What? No, I'm giving him credit. Like, Jordan Henderson is.
No, sarcasm. We know what you're doing.
Don't let him. But let's start the conversation, because really and truly, he's massively underrated. And
you know what? I want to ask a question. Who's better, Pires or Mane?
Probably Mane.
As it stands right now.
It's hard. All right, this is what's difficult about comparing players from yesteryear to today.
I don't want excuses, bro.
No, hear me out. No, hear me out. You have to look at the bigger picture.
No,
you have to look at the big picture. It's very different to how teams played then and how they play now. Mane is, although he starts on the left, Mane effectively is a striker for us. Him and Salah are strikers for us. Pires was never an inside forward / striker for Arsenal. He was a creator, and also sometimes played a lot of his game in field, whereas Mane drifts from out to in.
You're smart, man.
No, Pires
you
was
can't
the
compare
first.
the two.
Pires is the original inverted winger before they turned to forwards.
Yeah, but he wasn't a goal-scoring winger. Ljungberg, if anything, you should compare Ljungberg to Mane, if that's the case.
No, because
Yes,
Pires still would get. What was Pires' best goal-scoring season? About 15 goals.
All right, but Pires was the creator. If you look at the team, how the team was
he
set
could
up,
do both. But I'm saying at his peak, his best season, he scored and created. Yeah, and Pires would come inside.
But Pires would come inside and usually lay the ball across the 6-yard box to Freddie.
Or put it in the top corner.
Yeah, but he wasn't. But how often does Mane create for Salah or Firmino?
When they combine, I'm not a Liverpool fan. I don't watch
they don't.
Like
he doesn't. He's the one who's got the lowest amount of assists for us. So that's what I'm saying. Even though they both play quote unquote on the left hand side, you can't just compare. You can't just say they're comparable. In the same way, you wouldn't compare Beckham to Salah.
That's more drastic. That's more.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
That's even more insane because Pires wasn't a left midfielder the way Ryan Giggs was a left winger. Pires, like I said, he's the precursor to the forwards that we see now. That's why I think it's a reasonable comparison. And in his best seasons, he did score goals. Look at Terry's face.
I don't think
why is Terry making that face?
I've just run the numbers for Man City's current team, right? And it's interesting because this is only it's almost 3 seasons. So they've actually still got another 2 years to run, right? And that's why I think it's really disrespectful to kind of talk about the greatest, and I'm just putting to date on there. From 2017 to date is what we're looking at, right? Their total point score in 3 seasons is currently sitting at, I want to get my phone's opening now in front of me. It's a good score. It's at 105 points, right? Now, this season, you can only put in the League Cup because they haven't actually finished top 4. But if they win if they win like the Champions League and another thing, they're obviously going to finish in the top 4. By the end of this season, their numbers could be pushing towards that Man United team. And then they've got 1 more year. They could surpass by the end of next season. No, they've got 2 more seasons to go.
2 more, yeah.
It's highly likely they're going to surpass the Man United treble winning team. And that's my point about this system. There's no bias in it and that's why Liverpool right now won't be as high as Man United because they're only 2 years into their 5-year period. But it sets a precedent. And that way there's no arguing. Do you get where I'm coming? That's the point of these systems. It's so that we agree to a metric and then we play to it as an example. And it's one of them things. So they're on that. Also, trophy-wise, City in that period have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've won 8 trophies in that 3-year period as well, which is just ridiculous when you consider they're only a couple of years into that. It does actually put them. I'm going to put it up on the screen for someone in just a moment. It puts them above. It puts them above Manchester. It puts them above already that Chelsea team from 04 to 09 that we already mentioned. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans say, "What about the team that won Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues around the time?" We can run more teams and we can run more numbers, but we're just having a little look tonight because the idea was to see where Liverpool stack up as an example. So I'll put that up. And this isn't trying to throw salt at Liverpool. I'm literally saying that Liverpool have got an opportunity in the next couple of years to genuinely like challenge and push into these areas. So we're just going to move that there. So that's how it currently looks, with Man City sitting third, just behind Arsenal's Invincibles. Man United's treble winning team on top. Chelsea's 04 to 09 team sitting there in fifth place. And this will be the interesting one now. We'll run the Man United team from, and this is the interesting one where we're going to put this Man United team because well, see again, but you got 06. Would we not go from? We'd have to go from 05, 06 because they won the League Cup that year. So that's that team went for a period of not winning anything for 3 years. That was their first trophy. So I'm going to go from the 06, then 06, 07, 08, 09, 2010 season. See, again, I could be really biased and start from 06, 07 because then we get another Premier League in at the end of that. But that isn't sticking. Oh. It's not sticking to the rules. So I'm not going to be overly biased in that. So we've got to go from the 06. We're going to do 07. Got to do 08.
Sorry to interrupt you, Terry. I know this is going to create more work for you, but should there not be one more column that says length of cycle? So obviously Man United, Arsenal and Chelsea have all completed the cycle, whereas Man City is still 3 years in. We'll be 2 years in. Yeah,
I kind of put Joe. I put it to date in there, but I can just average. I can just put that. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. Go
put the date in there, so that makes complete and utter sense. So with Man United, this is where it's going to become. By the way, have a little chat again because I know it was good while I'm doing the maths. You guys are chatting. It kind of breaks it up. The Man City Centurion team, they're currently still playing. They're active. Do you think they're going to be back? Do you think they're going to bounce back from this kind of, which on the surface seems like a disappointing season, or not really?
I think it all depends on their ban, their transfer ban. If they continue with the transfer ban, I think they could potentially be in trouble next season.
No, you're 100% right. It's crazy. The way City recruit, they have no problem finding midfielders and attackers, but their centre-back record, because obviously Pep inherited company. They signed Stones, Otamendi. What's that guy's name from Porto? They got Mangala. Wasted about 40 million a pop on those guys before they ended up with Laporte. And obviously there's no telling.
Pep, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that. But they were building that project before he got there.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
And it's likely. So they've only got one really trustworthy centre back because Otamendi and Stones aren't it. We know that they're going to lose Sane, which is a massive blow for them. Massive blow. Aguero's getting older. I think the jury's out on Gabriel Jesus, but I still think he's a solid number 2. I mean, he scores 1 and 2 goals. He averages 1 and 2 every. That's his goal. Yeah, that's his ratio. So. But yeah, I think if that Champions League ban is upheld and De Bruyne leaves, it's a wrap. Especially if De Bruyne leaves while they have that ban, it's going to be a difficult time for them. And Pep won't commit beyond this year either, apparently as well.
It's not a transfer ban, guys. It's just a Champions League ban.
Yeah, no, it's a European ban as well, and a transfer ban.
What, they can't sign players in that time?
Yeah, no, is it a transfer ban as well?
It's both. Yeah, it's both.
Oh, peak. And De Bruyne could leave. That's peak.
That would be amazing.
That's peak.
Oh, hold on. Am I getting this right?
I'm not sure about the transfer ban.
Sure Europa.
There's got to be a transfer ban if they've breached financial fair play.
Yeah, but UEFA make it up as they go along. They make it up as they go along.
Yeah, true.
But either way, I think you're right. I don't think the season's disappointing, but it does depend on their defense. And because
they're not going to recover the way they were pressing 2 years ago. That's not going to come back.
No.
Key part of the way they play as well. Fernandinho's getting older. Aguero's getting older. No central defense is like whack. Really whack.
He needs the thing is
almost as bad as Arsenal's, not quite, but
I think I've seen Pep. It's mad the difference between Liverpool's transfer strategy and City's. Liverpool have gone after the players that they wanted. City have gone after like their second or third or fourth choice if they didn't get their main one. And I think it's just cost them time and time again. Like Rodri, and I know that he wasn't the player that City wanted initially.
Oh, who did he want?
Initially, he wanted Fred. He wanted Jorginho. I know he was up there. Then he wanted Fred. He was up there. Then he wanted that
wish they bought Fred.
Benfica. And then Rodri was like fourth choice. So it's like, okay, you could have just waited. And yeah, obviously you've seen John Stones fall off a cliff as well. So it's sad, man. Sad to see. Who knows what will happen?
Is it sad to see?
Yeah. I think so. I'm speaking purely from an English perspective.
Oh, for John Stones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was obviously the golden boy, and now like he doesn't even start. Like even their low priority games, he doesn't start them. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that guy.
Yeah,
I'm running Man United's second lot of numbers here, so you boys keep chatting away. It's good.
That's gonna.
Yeah, I think with Man City. I mean, let's say I need to confirm. Maybe I've just plucked this out of the air with the transfer ban. Let's say, for example, they haven't got a transfer ban, but they're banned from Europe for 2 years. Do you think they'll still attract the same sort of players?
Yeah, it depends on. That's difficult. Well, the first question is: will Pep stay if they're banned for 2 years, and will De Bruyne stay? Man City will have no problem attracting players who are in between the age of 23 and 25 who want to join the top team and they want to get to that next level. But as far as them, it's not really their strategy anyway. But I'm trying to think, can they take a player from Bayern or Madrid or Juventus or Barcelona? Are they going to have the top picks that they want? I don't think so. And how are they going to fudge the books now with no Champions League money? What are they going to do? What's the new scheme?
They'll do something. They've been doing it for the past however many years, isn't it? Like they will figure something out.
Oh, Chelsea are the best one ever since that £1 profit. How they got away with that, I don't know. And their loan system brings them so much money. No one talks about that. The amount of money they make from loans, and the way it gets them connected with so many different football clubs as well and agents.
Yeah, I think their transfer recruitment is very underrated. I think it's a lot better than people give it credit for. I think Man City's just been a case of money in, money out, money in, money out. Let's just get top players. Where Chelsea, over the last, I'd say 5 years, they haven't been that same Chelsea that broke onto the scene back in 2003. They've actually been a lot smarter their recruitment and a lot more strategic. Also, going back to what you said about Liverpool and Man City's sort of buying records, etc. I think a lot of Liverpool fans are actually split between the two when it comes to transfers. I know we did a show earlier and it descended into chaos because one of the guys on our channel, he wants Koulibaly bad. And not to say that we don't want Koulibaly, but we just don't see it as a like me and the other guy who disagreed with Drifty, me and Matt, we didn't see Koulibaly as a priority. We'd love to get him, but we think a priority for us is another versatile attacker and a left back. But we just don't have that sort of money to go out there and splash and get everyone we want. But we've had to go through periods where we didn't get our first choice as well. Salah wasn't the first choice. Mane wasn't the first choice. Wijnaldum wasn't the first choice. But I just think we've come across a winning formula, and I think Klopp just brings the best out of most players as well.
So, do you buy this whole we didn't want Werner, or I know that for a little while we wanted Werner. Was Liverpool don't want to spend any money at all?
No, we wanted Werner. Anyone who says we didn't want Werner is crazy. Werner was wanted by Liverpool, but I think when you look at his numbers, again, we can't justify bringing in Werner when Chelsea are paying him what was he getting, $270 a week? So this is where, as football fans, I think we become a bit fickle because we just say, oh, well, it's not our money. But you've got to understand, Werner coming into our club earning 270k a week would mean Van Dijk, Salah, Mane are no longer the highest earners. He'd almost treble Mane's weekly wage. So how can you say to Werner, right, you come in as a new guy, but Mane, who's been here from the start of Klopp project, is on a third of what he gets. So you've got to bump up all their contracts. I agree. But this is where it becomes a case of, well, you'd have to bump up the salary of pretty much everyone in the squad just to buy one player.
And how long
And we
before
haven't-
Trent starts saying, "Well, I'm the playmaker of the team from right back.
Exactly.
Who else does what I do in the world? Give me 250 a week."
Exactly. The difference with Trent is where I think we'll get a bit lucky is probably where you guys have been lucky with Rashford. He's a homegrown boy, so he's not going to look elsewhere. That's the only thing I think with Trent.
Points in here for Man United from 2005 to 2010 team.
Oh, that's surprising.
173. I mean, again, what helps is the 3 titles on the bounce. There's again 2 Champions League finals in that period, as an example. Remember, if we went from the 07 to 11 season, there's another Premier League title to throw in there. But the rules are from that first title that's been made. So it shows the strength of those United teams. But for me, I look at that Man City team. We've got 2 seasons left from their first trophy.
Man, I've got to say, I think you made an error not starting from 05 or...
I can't. The rules state from first trophy of that core group. If you think that core group would include the Rooneys and the Ronaldos that wouldn't have been there when we were last winning trophies, you just can't do it and be fair. If we do it from the following year, you would lose a second place finish in an EFL Cup and you would gain a Premier League at the other end. So that team would probably come in like 190 odd points, right? But it wouldn't fit the metric. And like I said, I didn't run the metric before. If I would have done, I'd have said from first major trophy or something like that. But I didn't. I'm going to be fair to it. So we're going to run Liverpool's now and see where they come out from just amongst these teams. Obviously, there's a few other Chelsea and City teams that we haven't run it against. But I can't see City's team prior to this being as high because they didn't retain a title. The retaining of the title was massive. So we'll take a little look at that now. So in terms of Liverpool, it's quite quick and easy. So last year, we know they won the Champions League and we know that they came second in the league. Didn't get to a cup final in either of those. I don't think they got to a cup final in those seasons, did they?
No.
This year, obviously, already won the league over 100 points. We know that. And that's kind of... Is there anything else?
We haven't got over 100 points. I wouldn't say...
I'm going to give you over 100 points. I'm just going to put that in there because I think you're going to do that, right? We're pretty confident you're going to do that.
I don't know, Terry. Anything can happen. And I'm not just saying that being pessimistic. We don't know.
Okay, so it's 2019 and you came second, which is 6 points. You won the Champions League, which we know is 20 points.
They got to 2 finals as well, didn't they? So they got final year before.
No, but we didn't win anything.
From winning your first trophy. So the first trophy was 2019.
Okay. Okay.
And obviously in 2020 you won the league, which is 20 points as an example. See, again, I'm looking at the bonus points here, and I'm just going to throw it in now for like playing devil's advocate, and I'm going to throw in that you've got 100, that you're going to get 100 points. I'm going to throw the 25 points extra in there as an example. Which
also, sorry to cut you, Terry, the Super Cup and World Club Championships as well. Yes,
there we go. I knew there was something else. So you've got the World Club Championship, Super Cup, that's 3 points. World Club Championship, 5 points. So that brings us in at 5 and 8. Actually, I'm going to still use my calculator because I can't bother to count out loud. 26 plus 45 plus 3 plus 5. See, that's still respectable though. That's 2 seasons in, and Liverpool come in on 79 points. But the reason that's respectable is there's 3 years to go on that. And again, if you're a Man, and again, this isn't saying it's a great Liverpool team, but I look at it this way: that if you look at that as an example, you're 79 points into that. That's just 2 trophies in. You're already on 79 points as a football club. I honestly, as a Man United fan, looking at that, the next 3 years are going to be hugely interesting. Let me just put the right one up on the screen. There we go. The next few years are going to be hugely interesting because, you're getting 79 points. Retaining the Premier League as an example, wax 20 plus, what do we say it was for? Like, if we go back to the point system, if you guys retain the Premier League next year, it's 20 plus 10 as an example. That's 30 points just by doing that as an example. You're going to build out on that squad. You're there or thereabouts. You look at what City's team are on after 3 seasons. You're not that far behind City's level. Does that make sense? You're only 26 points behind them. You retain the Premier League next year. Theoretically, you jump in front of that Manchester City team. You look how close you are to Chelsea's 5-year team already. That's my point. Like Chelsea's team after 5 years have 8 trophies and only 99 points. Liverpool, as long as you go past the 100-point mark, which I think you do, you're already about to surpass that team. And that's why people can't sleep on this Liverpool team being the best. And Some might argue, no one's done our points total, we're better. But the reason why I wouldn't put them as better is because I'm not saying this will happen. If Liverpool win nothing now for the next 3 years, I couldn't consider them the best because it's been 2 seasons of brilliance out of over a period of time. You wouldn't call the best Premier League player ever someone who has the best 2 seasons ever. Do you get what I mean? You'd look at a tier. So I think the same works for teams. But when you see the points coming like that as a Liverpool fan, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, happy. I'm over the moon. I've always said I wouldn't compare us to a treble winning team or Chelsea teams. I would compare us on a season by season basis to any team who's won it, but I can't speak about longevity yet because we simply haven't had it yet. We're at the beginning of our cycle. You look at some of the players as well. Some of the players who've been vital to that, like your Virgils, your Wijnaldums, Henderson. Some of those players are getting to close to 30 as well. Will they still maintain that level? So I think a lot still has to happen between now and the end of the 5-year cycle before we can be in a conversation with some of the other clubs in there. So, but as things stand right now, after 2 years, I'm very satisfied with that.
How about yourself? But I update that as well. It's actually 4 trophies you've won because you put the Super Cup and the World Club Championship in there as well, which is worth looking at. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty damn good. I mean, as a Gooner, I mean, the Invincibles come in. I will run this later myself and look at Arsenal's double winning side. I'll look at the other sort of good Chelsea teams as an example. But in fairness, I've always been really disrespectful of the Invincibles. I've always looked at it as you didn't retain the title, you didn't win the Premier League. But if you look at a 5-year period that team was in the middle of, and there'll definitely be at least 3 survivors from 01 right the way through to 2006. It has to be. I'm sure there is.
Don't worry about that.
That's it's true though. It's true. I mean, we go and check. Like we go and check. Oh, no, don't check. Let's just assume. I think that comes out quite fair, and it's why I think I've been annoyed recently that I feel like the mainstream media isn't respecting enough of what United's 2 greatest teams in the Premier League did, because people often focus on what you did before. Like they look at the big achievement and they don't focus around what you did after. So when they talk about 99, they just speak about the one season. They don't talk about that we then went on to win the league 2 more years running and then missed the season where we come 3rd and then we won it again the year after. It's like, actually, we actually came, I'm a liar, we came, 3rd, sorry. So it was like actually 4 titles out of 5 years. And you don't even, and for some reason, the media don't even want to pick up on that was a good achievement. Do you get where I'm coming from? It's weird. Like, they just say, oh yeah, it was all right. It's just like it's getting lost in history. And I think that's why a system like this is fair, because if the era was easier, it means United weren't as good either. It's fair. Do you get what I mean? Like, when they compare footballers from the era where players play when they were drunk. It's like, yeah, I know that you're saying he was a good attacker because centre-backs were drunk. Yeah, but him as an attacker was drunk. They were all drunk.
Yeah, they were bad level playing field, yeah.
They all play with shit balls and heavy balls, and the pitches were uneven. So there's no, there's no difference in terms of that. There's a comment here that says this should be from the first major trophy because you don't start judging a team till after the FA Cup. See, do you know why?
Thank you. No, Kieran's right and you're wrong, Terry.
No, I disagree.
I disagree because of Sir Alex Ferguson. And Sir Alex Ferguson, it was after winning the FA Cup and then the Cup Winners' Cup. Now, the Cup Winners' Cup, you could argue, was major. He said that it was winning those 2 trophies that made his team ready to go on and win the big trophies. But you have to start judging the team from when it started winning trophies.
Man United, that's the man saying that because he's built teams and he could see what's coming. As a football fan base and the media as a whole, Kieran's right. It's when somebody wins a league title, people say, how does this stack up to other league titles? Can they go on and retain it? No one has those conversations off a FA Cup or a League Cup.
Yeah, but this is hindsight though, because it's when it started. Man United went for a 2-year period where we were really poor. 2.5 years. Period, we were poor. That 05-06 season, we weren't great. But that winning that League Cup, and if you go towards the end of that season, we started battering teams towards the end. We moved out Van Nistelrooy, who had the major problem with Cristiano Ronaldo, and the team come alive. The success we then had for the next 4 years after that started in 05-06. Like with Liverpool, as an example, if they win the league for the next 3 years running, it didn't start this season. It started last year. Now, if they won the League Cup last year and got to the Champions League final and lost it, it would have still been last year where it started. I don't know. But Kieran, I get your point. I mean, if we run the numbers on that, I mean, if we just did that for a second, I mean, the Man United team would probably be on nearly 200 points, which I think he's getting at, because obviously I'm assuming Kieran here might be a Man United fan. He's thinking, do you know what? Geez, if Liverpool retain the title for a couple of years and throw another Champions League in there, we could be in trouble. But it's fine, because Ollie balls being created, fluid.
Hold on. Michael, we didn't have Michael Carrick when we won the League Cup. That's what I mean. And that signing started that cycle.
But we had Ronnie, we had Ronaldo, we had Scholes, we had Giggs.
Scholes and Giggs, yeah. I shouldn't say this publicly, but Scholes and Giggs back then, yeah. That 3-year period, don't get me started on those two. I don't say anything publicly. As United fans, we ignore what happened for those 3 years with those two. But the signing of Carrick happened the year after, from the year you started. And without Carrick, that's a significant signing, an underrated signing in Man United's history.
And no, we don't include money. The reason we're not including money is because I can't be bothered to sit here and also include an inflation calculator.
Can you include money?
The volume of money is ridiculous. I'll tell you why. Because from 2004 until now, there's been over a 450% inflation increase in football. Like the ecosystem's grown. Now, I looked at that, right? So if you look at this as an example, everyone like Jadon Sancho. Oh, God, it's so expensive. 113 million. How can you ever warrant spending that? If you run the metric on players from, say, 04, so if you look at Rooney, 27 million, would come in at about 130 million pounds now.
Thank you. So happy.
You know what I've always said about Harry Maguire? Do you want how I know Harry Maguire comes in cheap? If you run Rio Ferdinand's numbers, but modern day, through the inflation calculator into modern day football, he would be 160 million pound centre back signing, which is about the same value that you would get right now for Van Dijk in the market. So Van Dijk's valuation is double that of Harry Maguire because he is a better player. It's people. What people do is they look at the then price and they compare it to the now price. Yeah. It don't make any sense. People do realize that 20 million pound mansions 40 years ago cost like 600 grand. But it's not a 600 grand house because you bought it for 600 grand. You sell it for the market value. And we are now blessed, ladies and gentlemen. One of our main guys is here. He says, "Come on, you gunners. London is red. Ollie is the Norwegian. Frodo Baggins, and no ring is ever going to save him." That's actually quite funny for you, Zane. But Zane, have you seen where Arsenal stack up so far in our little metric? Sitting their third greatest ever Premier League team.
For now.
I mean, this Man City team are probably going to get past them.
If we were to do the Chelsea team that precedes that one, they'd probably get above Arsenal.
Chelsea from 09 to 20, so from the 2010 season to 2015 season. That'll be interesting because they won the Champions League in that, but they didn't win back-to-back titles. They did win a double.
They won, but over the 5-year period, I think they got at least 2 league titles in there. Off head, I'm pretty sure they got 2 league titles.
They definitely did. So that'd be an interesting one. But yeah, that's where it all kind of stacks up in relation to that. But again, everyone's going to have different views and opinions. That's why we've just got to try and agree on a metric. But I think that's an interesting one for me.
To be fair, no one can say you're being biased because if you were, you would start that United team from the year I want to start it. So,
do you know what? Because this could work out in a way. We've gone 5 years from the first trophy. Because if Liverpool imagine Liverpool do this, right? They win the league again next year. They win the FA Cup. The year after that, they win Champions League again, right? And then they win nothing. And then in the 6th year from winning the first title, they win the treble. It's not going into. It's a new era. 5-year period. So my point is, but I don't know if that's going to happen ahead of time. The point is that you create the metric and then you put things into it. It's like, we were in the debate the other day on Serious Note about getting rid of statues and removing people from history. I'm down with that. But you create a metric. And if your favorite guy fits that metric, he's gone. Yeah, but no, buts.
Whoa.
He touched on. He's out. I'm not saying what the metric is. I'm just saying.
No, I'm looking at this comment. Michael Carrick was shite for the first 2 seasons at United. He couldn't keep the ball complete a pass. Sorry,
Zane. Invincibles are the best. Where are Spurs? Must be at the bottom. No, it's mad. Spurs don't get into the conversation because they don't. Yeah. The Poch team didn't win a trophy, so you don't start having your points counted until you win trophies. So dead. Dead. Spurs don't have a greatest team. They won't even. The only time you can count in the League Cup was 199, and then there were 5 years of nothing. Like Spurs' teams are going to have 2 points. What do you get 2 points when the League Cup? So Spurs' best 2 teams in the Premier League ever have 2 points.
That's top 4. top four.
No, they got
finishes,
top
bro.
4 finishes under
No,
Redknapp
but they
and all of
didn't
that,
win
and
the
Martin Yo.
I don't know. Maybe they might have done. No, they didn't.
Harry Redknapp? With Redknapp? No?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
they win? I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
did. They
might have-
got top 4 of Harry.
I reckon they got no more than 10, 12 points. Sorry,
No,
boys.
they haven't.
That's
Yeah.
where you are. Even like Blackburn's team will only probably be on sort of 20 to 30 points. Newcastle might have more points in the Premier League era than them. What we
No,
should
they wouldn't.
do you know what we should do for who's been the greatest club? We should just run the metric from the start to the end and just run points for everything and see who the greatest. We know who's coming top of that. Like, it's mad. When you got 30 titles, but then sorry, Adam. I'm just saying, like, you can't. Why are you having to go for? You see what I mean? It's like if you create a metric for the greatest ever sprinter in the world, you do realize whatever metric you create, Usain Bolt's coming out on top. You can't do what he did and not come out on top. It's impossible.
Arsenal would do well in the Premier League era if you took
yeah.
it from the they do really well.
But then if you watch, have you seen those things? I love
top 4 trophies.
You know those things where they show you the metrics over a timeline, they change. You see
the data bars.
the Arsenal like this at the front with United, then you just suddenly see that they're just falling back. It just started doing that. You know that would happen. Arsenal just dead in here.
They're the Nokia. They're the Nokia of the Premier League.
Terry, who speaks better English? Harry Kane or Manuel from 40 Towers? Oh, that's. I love Zane, man. I love Zane. He's a great guy. But overall, though, viewers, what do you make of this concoction of players and people? A comment here says, Carrick and Alonso were most underrated players in the league for those 3 seasons.
Carrick was not underrated.
He was. Yes, he was. I'm telling you for a fact, Man United fans were debating how good he was. There were some United fans that were, after we got embarrassed by Barcelona, there were some United fans that were saying, Carrick's not really top class. He's not world class and he might not even be top class. What value does he bring? He doesn't dominate matches. Then, of course, because he didn't dominate for England, he didn't have an impact to England that filtered to Man United fans as well. And Scotty Parker was the darling of English football for about a year or two. I'm going to start on that nonsense.
Thing.
Scotty Parker.
Playing when Alonso were hearing their pomp, I think the general British palate to football was so uncultured, people couldn't see. We like blood, sweat, and tears only. Like finesse wasn't even a thing. And I always rated Carrick, and it weren't until years later. Hindsight's always lucrative for these debates. But I always tell this story. It made me die. It was 2014 World Cup. I was living at the time in Bethnal Green. I bought my house in Romford, but it weren't ready for whatever reason. And we were living in this like temporary accommodation in Bethnal Green. It's actually really cool. Like Bethnal Green was like this little right on the high street in this lovely flat. And it's just nice boozer. World Cup was on. My boy Tony come met me. England were playing Italy that night, but before that it was Colombia versus so-and-so. And we were in the bar. There's this group of Colombian girls and a few Colombian guys. Great night. And we got chatting away. And the Colombian boys, amazing English, they lived in Barcelona for about 7-8 years. Big Barca fans. We were chatting football. And the guy come out with something and it just made me laugh. He was like, he said, isn't it a shame that Michael Carrick is Welsh? And I looked and said, what do you mean Welsh? He said, well, he's never in he's Welsh, isn't he? That's why he's not in the England team. I said, no, he doesn't get picked. And they were like, you do realize in around Barcelona for all those years, like whenever United were being discussed, like Michael Carrick was one of the guys, they kept him in the same breath as the Scholeses and Ronaldos and Rooney. So like Michael Carrick is God. And they just said if he was a Spanish player, an Italian player, he'd have been in the national team week in, week out, it'd have been lauded. But the English didn't recognize that we needed that. And those 10 years of trying to get Lampard and Gerrard to work together, the midfield should have been built around Michael Carrick. I'm just so happy now that the England setup seems to care more about technique than it does about who can score screamers. And I'm not saying Gerrard and Lampard didn't have technique, but they're not midfielders that controlled midfields in the way that you need on a continental level. Gerrard was brilliant, but he needed he was at his best when Alonso and Mascherano with him. That's when Gerrard for me was peak.
When Alonso left, it exposed Gerrard. See, because Gerrard can execute. Let me say this. Let me be clear. Wait a second. I'm going to speak to Terry's point. Don't get over the word exposed. I'm going to speak to Terry's point. People thought at the time, because Gerrard was so good at playing long passes, when Alonso went, he could easily be a playmaker. It didn't work out like that. It did not work out like that. Because to be a playmaker, you need a different type of decision-making to be a playmaker. Gerrard's great passer, but he didn't have a playmaker's brain. I put it that way. And that was exposed when he was paired with Gareth Barry after Alonso left and also when Mascherano left.
I love Gerrard. Gerrard, for me, when it comes to attacking, great tackler.
Why are you shaking your head?
Great leader.
Because it's an incorrect statement.
Great goal scorer.
So Gerrard was a good playmaker.
Of course, he was a good playmaker. You're saying
To
he got
Alonso's
exposed
standard.
Hold on.
No.
You
To Alonso's standard.
they're different players. They're different players.
No, but he had to drop into that role and be a playmaker. How did he do compared to Alonso?
All right. So when Alonso was there. Who was Alonso playmaking to?
Well, to Gerrard and Torres. Well, yeah.
All right. So who was Gerrard? Who was Gerrard playmaking to?
Suarez.
You tell me.
No, you just come out with the statement.
No, but you're talking about high impact. Okay, so if we're gonna,
sorry, Dan, sorry. Suarez, he was playmaking to Sturridge, Sterling, and Suarez.
That was later.
Not when Alonso.
That was later. What I'm saying is this: you're thinking about the high impact. All right, Alonso,
I'm not thinking
Gerrard,
about high
Torres.
impact.
I'm just talking about play making, the ability to control a midfield, understand this pass, and if I give the ball to this guy here, this is what's going to happen next. I'm going to make this decision. Controlling and conducting a game. Steven Gerrard does not compare to Alonso when it comes to that.
So are we going to act like the first 3-4 years of Gerrard's career didn't happen when he went over to Germany, dominated the Germans, and was playing the playmaking role there?
As a playmaker, playmaking. I'm talking about the art of playmaking. I'm not talking about impact in scoring goals. You've not
heard me mention goals once. I'm saying he used to do the Alonso role when he was younger in his career. And he did it.
He played as a right winger under Julia. Didn't he play on the right wing under Julia? He wasn't a playmaker then. He did play as a right winger. Hold on, he wasn't a right midfielder in a Julia team.
Are you telling me, a Liverpool fan?
Am I going crazy? I've discussed this with Liverpool fans. I've never had anybody push back on that before.
So where did Smeetser play?
So you're telling me Steven Gerrard never played on the right hand side for Julia?
He played mostly on the right under Benitez. He played mostly under the right under Benitez, not under Julia. I mean, it was usually Danny Murphy who moved out to the wing, not Gerrard.
Okay, so you're saying under Benitez he was a right winger and he was the second striker 10 under Benitez.
His best goal scoring seasons with Benitez were when he was played as a right winger and he was played as a number 10 behind Torres.
And then when Alonso went, you're telling me Steven Gerrard proved he could playmake to the same standard as Alonso.
Alonso, when he left, he wasn't the playmaker. He still played number 10 because we had no number 10. And Lucas Leiva came into the team next to Mascherano.
Right, didn't you bring in Gareth Barry after all?
No, we didn't.
Was that when Mascherano went? You brought in Gareth Barry?
No, we never bought Gareth Barry.
What? Am I going crazy?
You are going crazy, bro.
No, you wanted to buy Gareth Barry though, right? I'm not.
Yes, we wanted to.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's half the reason Alonso left. But see, the thing for me on Gerrard, everyone knows.
He went to City. My bad.
Everyone knows I rate Gerrard. I think Gerrard is a proper. He's a world-class player, a top-class Premier League player, was world-class in his day. I think he was a great attacking midfielder. I think he was a good central midfielder. I think he was a good battler. I think he was a good tackler, a good leader. But in terms of being a playmaker, he was good at it. And I think you said yourself, Cal, he was good. He was good at it. But he wasn't at Alonso's level. I don't think he was at Michael Carrick's level as an example. I don't think he could hold that midfield in that way. And when he dropped deeper in his career and went to what I call the quarterback kind of role, which Scholes, by the way, when he had to sit back and do it. By the way, they never even tried Lampard in that role because there's no way he had the sophistication to do it either. Gerrard, for me, again, he was a shadow of his former self. He didn't, he wasn't delivering at the high standards. Is why he moved on. But I think when I was talking about the reason I brought him up was the England situation. England tried to get two very similar players in Lampard and Gerrard. And Gerrard, yes, was a more superior passer to Lampard into a system, but they both occupy the same spaces. And this is where this is the whole point of this kind of, where England always went wrong is they didn't create balance in their teams. It was always who are the best players. And I mean, to a point where, again, even like the foreign managers looking after England, we're moving Scholes out to the left-hand side. The rest of Europe is laughing at you going, why would you do that? The football fans with sophisticated, like, why would you do it? It's the craziest decision you can make. But but then we wonder why England didn't win anything. But someone asked here, did Chelsea get bonus points for going 86 home games unbeaten between 04 and 09? No, we didn't include that. But we could probably throw you in a couple of bonus points for that, maybe.
Don't sleep on that Chelsea team.
Yeah, why did you think Gareth Barry went to Liverpool?
You know what? I don't know why. My head went.
Who did you
You
say?
know what it is? You know what it was? I still couldn't believe that they actively sold Alonso, and it was Gareth Barry at the time that I know they were being linked with. That's why that was in my
Who
mind.
replaced Alonso at Liverpool? Is it you, Lucas Leiva? You said
Lucas Leiva,
Yeah,
and then
it's
Barry
Lucas
went to
Leiva.
City, so that was my mistake. But I'm still not having Gerrard. I'm still not having Gerrard as a same level as playmaker.
Wasn't it that dude, Aquilani?
Oh yeah. Oh no, that was that Rodgers. Was that
Hey,
under
Allow it,
Rodgers?
Terry.
Robin, yes.
Allow it, man. Don't swear on your stream, Terry, man.
Hold on, was he your 10? Where did he play? Where did Aquilani play?
The playmaker. He was the playmaker.
Aquilani is a long story. I don't think we should get into this evening.
No, I love about the younger viewers that are tuning in. They're just like, they just think Aquilani is like Aquaman's brother. Do you know what I mean? Was he in the Justice League? No, brother. He was a player, and he replaced Alonso. Lucas Leiva came in a year or so later. But yeah,
Leiva was there already.
Aquilani was the guy. He was the big money signing that was to replace Alonso. I remember that now. And by the way, Liverpool weren't the only club to do that. Man United bought Jemba and Liam Miller, God rest his soul, to be long-term replacements of Roy Keane. So listen, we've all been
Elite Opinions. Give Elite Opinions the link to call in, and he's calling me out. Daring to come on.
Elite Opinions. I'm gonna tweet it to you now, brother. Well, DM you on Twitter, brother. If I can find you on there. He actually messaged me twice.
You know what? I don't smoke Kush anymore, but if I was smoking, it would be Kush.
Fair.
By the way,
Elite Opinions.
Sorry, just on my earlier stream, he's coming through now. On my earlier stream, we had a lot of United fans saying United aren't really building for the future. We're not signing anyone. Turns out today we've signed a 16-year-old Barcelona right back called Marc Gerrard. Barcelona fans are kicking off because he's so highly rated. But no youngsters want to play for the project. None want to play. None want to come. The board don't know. Ollie don't know what he's doing because Gomez is going. We have no idea what we're doing. I love it. Don't you just love it? Don't you just love it when people's BS just blows up in their face, their lies? Come on, Elite Opinions. We want to hear from you. But listen,
you know what it is? The United fan base.
Standings, greatest Premier League teams of all time. We haven't run all the teams yet, but Man United's 2 teams top. Invincibles sitting there in second. Man City's current Centurions are sitting in 4th place. Chelsea sitting in 5th. Liverpool, by the way, Liverpool's is the most impressive. They're 6th right now on 79 points, but they're 2 seasons in to their 5-year period. I think Callum is back with us. We're now adding the man, the myth, the legend. That is Elite Opinions. Elite, what's going on, bro?
I'm good, man. You guys can hear me, right? You guys hear me?
All good.
I mean, how have some of you allowed Dan to get away with some of the comments he's made today? I will never know. I mean, the comments he made about Carrick being a good... Carrick was a bum. There's a reason why we didn't want his scrap. He went to United. He's been a bum for so long. That guy, I watched him week in, week out. He was so poor. You know what United saw in him? It was just fascinating. I mean, I honestly...
That was it. I thought you were gonna call me out on the Gareth Barry thing because that never happened. You're talking about Michael Carrick being a bum.
He's a bum. I'm sorry. I don't know what. Just because he played in a great midfield, he somehow that was
made midfield great.
Exactly.
Huh?
He made the midfield better.
Great midfield. He got carried.
Made them great. He got carried.
He got carried.
Who carried him?
How old are you again?
Look, we don't discuss ages on this channel, but look, I told you continuously throughout the midfield, throughout his longevity at United, he's been poor. He's been so mediocre. He's never had a season when you can say, wow, he's been world class. Has he ever even made a PFA team of the year?
That doesn't. How many PFA teams has David Silva made? He should make it every single season he's been in the Premier League. That doesn't mean anything.
Has Michael Carrick ever made a PFA team? Possibly.
Do you want me to Google it?
Why is that relevant? Because
if he has, will you change your mind? If he has, will you change your mind?
Why is it relevant? First of all, why is it relevant?
Because Dan has talked him up as if he's a good player. He's not a good player.
You're talking him down. Why is it relevant to be PFA Player of the Year? What's the relevance of it?
If you're a good player and you've played at a world-class team for a good amount of time, you should surely play at a PFA team of the year. No?
Yeah, okay. He was in the PFA team of the year for the 2012-13 season.
Wow, that is so dead. 1 year where they won the title. Is that how low it's got to?
And by that time, Paul Scholes would have been what? I want to say 30. What? Yeah, Paul Scholes would have been like 35. Paul Scholes might have been retired in 2000.
Was in it. So that. Why is it? My point is again, why is it the point? You do realize you must have listened to there's hundreds of interviews out there on social media you can look at where ex-pros talk about the PFA awards that they vote for. Football writers maybe, but the PFA awards, half the players don't take it seriously. Some, do you know how bad it is for some? Some will go, right, who's been injured all year in the Man United squad? Jasper Blomqvist. Let's all vote for him for a laugh.
Yeah.
Some hang on, stop. Some whole squad sit there and put players like Maradona and Pele on them. They literally
just say stop.
Yeah, he did.
If they don't take the players don't vote seriously, how can we take the results seriously?
Okay, that's fine, yeah. But look, that we need to start respecting Tottenham. That Tottenham team from 2015, 2019. That needs to be mentioned in the compilation.
Okay, so what would the rules be? Because they didn't win anything. So what would the rules be?
Look.
What would you give them points for?
Wait. 2015 League Cup final.
Amazing. 20 points for that. Right, let's say we give you 50 points for that. What else?
4. 2016 top 4, 2017 runners up, 2018 top 4 again, 2019 Champions League final runners up. It doesn't sound great.
Terry, can you add it up for him, please?
He's gone. He
Is he gone?
How did he?
We just do Tottenham for a laugh, right? So where are we going to start from? Poch's whole career there. We'll just do Poch's career there as an example. So let's get Poch up for a minute. Let's just do Tottenham. He might come back into the stream. I don't think he's going to have the balls to.
Yeah, he's there. I've got to be.
You got to go.
Yeah. Same here as well.
No worries. All right, boys. Thanks for coming on. Me and Dan will just stay quick and do it. Boys, cheers for coming on. Yeah, we're going to see what Tottenham do. All right, boys. I'll speak to you in a bit.
I reckon no more than 20 points.
All right, no more than 20. I got you on that, right? So, how long was Poch there for? So he was at Tottenham from literally there 5 years, from 2014 to 2019. So what did you achieve in that time, Elite Opinions? So where did you finish in 2014?
Sorry, let me shoot as well, guys. Terry, thanks for having me on, bro.
Right,
Dan, nice one, yeah.
Take care, bro.
2013, 14, we might have finished 5th, I think, or 6th. We didn't finish top 4 that season.
So you need to. Okay, so you need to.
So what year are you starting from? What year? What year?
2015. That 2015 to 16 period.
Okay, I'll do this for you. Let's do the Premier League first.
5 years. You got sacked this season, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
15,
the 2014-15 season when he was in the when he took over your team. So that your first year, you finished
outside
5th.
of the top 4.
So no points there. Did you win cup finals?
14, 15. Nah. I mean 13, 14. No, sorry. If you talk about 14, 15, we should League Cup final.
So nothing. So 14, 15, you got to a League Cup final.
No, they didn't.
No,
we did. We got beat by Chelsea.
In 14, 15.
No, that 15, 6. Oh yeah, no, that
14, 15.
Yeah. He's right.
Listen, I know my club, man.
Yes, there we go. So okay, so you got
trophies often.
That gives you 1 point so far. So we're going to do 2015-16 season. You finished.
Wait, we include Audi Cup.
You finished third. Audi Cup doesn't get you any points. Did you make any cup finals that year? No. So that's a top 4 point. 2016-17 season, you finished
second. Runners up.
So you got 2017 second. You got second. No cup finals. 2017-18 season, where did you finish?
2017-18 third.
Third, so it's top 4. So you got top 4 there. And then last season, we know that you finished. Was it 4th last season?
Third.
Yeah, they finished 4th.
I finished 4th to 4th. Sorry, yeah.
That's top 4. So that's top 4
and a Champions League final.
Yes, I know. So it's top 4. The Champions League final is going to give you 10 points. I'm going to run your numbers now based on the metric that we were just discussing as an example. So we're going to run that through. So you got to a Champions League final, which gives you a nice 10 points. Top 4 finish gives you 4 points. Coming second gives you 6 points. More than 20, which is cool. Top 4 again gives you 4 points, and then a cup final gives you 1 point. So we add that. It's 14.
Throwing a point for the Audi Cup. I'll give him half a point.
We'll give you another point for the Audi Cup. Okay, cool. So what we're sitting on 16, so 14, 20, 24, 28. That puts you on to 30 points. 30 points.
This system is rigged though because it's only included from 1992. If you include beforehand, we would have wiped the floor with a lot of these teams.
You haven't won a league title for like 70 years or something.
No, we would. Our period 50, 60, we would have wiped the floor with these kind of teams. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and United's team from the 60s would do pretty well as well. Like you can go as far back as you like with this, can't you?
Elite. This is from Zane. He goes, Elite. Spurs will never win. Join the light side of the force and join Arsenal. He says, become an Arsenal fan, sir.
I mean, I would be a sad fan if I haven't seen Champions League football in nearly 5 years. But
would you swap your history for Arsenal's history?
No, because that club's not even from North London. It's built on a fake history, isn't it?
Because they moved house.
Well, the entire history is a lie, isn't it?
Why?
It's not a lie. They were based in South London and moved to North London. That's all.
They continuously talk about North London as if they're even from there, are they?
Hang on, bro. It sounds a little bit xenophobic to me. Do you know what I mean?
No. Well,
do you know what I mean? They moved house. They're allowed to move house. But you're in here. This says you're just a troll. You're not real. You don't believe any of these things you say.
Look, I have fun bantering other clubs when I've got my club's got nothing going for us, have we?
Do you know what? You know what we're going to do for you, Willie? When Mourinho wins his first trophy, we'll start a period for Mourinho to give you a chance.
You're mock Mourinho, but he's probably going to win a trophy.
I'm not mocking. I'm being deadly serious. Mourinho's got a history of winning trophies. So when he wins his first trophy, when he does what Poch wasn't able to do, we can start a 5-year period from then.
Wait, Terry, does that Tottenham team have a better point system than Leicester's team, right?
No,
definitely. It does.
Well, maybe I don't know. It might do. I'll have to run the numbers.
So after all these teams, the next best is Tottenham, right?
Where you currently sit in that ratio right now, bro.
So you found your level, Leicester.
119.
No, but after all those teams, isn't Tottenham the next one?
No.
You've
probably got other Man United teams and other Arsenal teams and other City teams and other Chelsea teams and other Liverpool teams. Liverpool's Champions League winning team will have more than 30 points because they were multiple top 4 finishes. I'm sure they won
and a Champions
League. They won an FA Cup the year after that. They got to 2 Champions League finals running. You won't even. I don't even think this Tottenham team will make the top 20. I will, though, over the course of time, sit up and run different teams through it as an example. But from my I can't see it happening, bro. I can't see it happening.
But I'm telling you,
bro, he says Elite. He says Elite. Disney are buying your club, Mickey Mouse Club, mate. It's going to be bought by Disney.
I mean, if Terry, you make an episode where you talk about it before the 1992, that would really be interesting to see where Tottenham.
Why you weren't even alive?
No, but I know the club.
But bro, listen. What I would say to you is this though. You shouldn't even be on the list because you haven't won a trophy. We did that as a check. Like you actually have 0 points because you don't qualify for the rules. Do you get what I'm saying?
If you want to talk about trophies, can you? Well, okay, 2008. We can include 2008 if you wanted to, but that's not going to work.
But we only then go forward 5 years. I guarantee you, if we went from your 2000 last trophy in 2000, I thought it was 2009, but okay, 2008 maybe. If we go from there and go fast forward 5 years, I reckon you'd have less points than 30 because you weren't making top 4 regular. You didn't come second. So you actually have less points, but that's fine because that's actually the only time you qualify. This isn't throwing salt at Tottenham. This is about throwing respect against teams who had brilliant periods. And I don't even, for me, what I find disrespectful is how actually the 2 Man United great teams we're talking about here and the Invincible team, and I do it to the Invincibles, get shown a lot less respect than Chelsea 04-09 team. And then the current 2 City and Liverpool teams. And I'm like, they don't get shown any respect in comparison to them. It's weird. But you're sitting there wanting to talk about Spurs.
No, look. Points. Well, Terry, you'll be surprised at some of the comments. Some of the comments actually are putting great statements for Spurs.
Saying what?
Spurs won the most FA Cups and UEFA Cups of any British team until the 80s. So I'm telling you, we would have a great case before 1992.
Yeah, but we're not doing history. If we had it up, if we had it up all of history, you do realize Man United and Liverpool and Arsenal will all come out on top.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be 119th
I threw 119 in as a laugh. It's a joke.
No, but
banter. And this is the thing, we can go before that. Obviously, there'll be a 26-year period where Man United, it doesn't look great. There was a few domestic cups in there.
Exactly. That's like us though.
Well, having said that, so let's take a look at it. Let's actually look at the actual facts when it comes to. Let me click on Tottenham's history here, right? And I want to have a look. I'm going to look at when Man United went through their barren period, and I'm talking about when we did. I want to look at this here. We're going to look at Man United's honours here, right? So we won our last.
Sorry, bro. I got a dip.
All right, cool. All right, brother. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks for having me on. Salute to you as well.
See you later. Ali, we're just going to finish up on this before we go, right? So I want to finish this. Again, I've never explored this. So United won the league title in 1967, and then we didn't win it again for 27 years. Cool. Yeah. 26 years, sorry. In that time, though, we won Didn't win a lot. We won 1, 2 until we won the league again. We won 1, 2, 3, 4 FA Cups, and I'm checking league cups, and 1 league cup, right? So we won 5 domestic trophies in that time, and we also won the Cup Winners' Cup, so 1 European trophy as well, and the European Super Cups. We won 1, 2. So we won in our barren period of 26 years. We still won 6 trophies. I want to check what Liverpool, what Spurs won during our barren time, and compare it as an example, right?
Okay, so we definitely won the 2 division titles.
Hang on. So no. So your last division title was in 1961.
61, yeah.
So that FA Cups, you won an FA Cup in 1967, the same year. After that, you only won 3 FA Cups in 81.
And a Cup Winners' Cup.
Hang on, 81, 82, 91. You won the League Cup in 71 and 73, and you won, as you say, you won the UEFA Cup in 72, right? Cup
And
Winners' Cup. Cup Winners' Cup was before Man United's barren period started. So you won one. Actually, you won the UEFA Cup twice. In 1984 as well. So you won 1, 2. Just counting this up. Sorry, I'm doing it out loud. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you won 7. So in Man United's worst period in our history, you only won 1 more trophy than we did, and you didn't win a league title in that time. So you will definitely have more points because your history is good. But in Man United's worst period of our history, it's pretty much your best period trophy haul wise. That's you can't compare yourself to a Man United ever.
Yeah, but we're not talking about saying we're the greatest ever team in terms of our trophies. We're talking about we need to get more respect in this conversation. If you talk about all time, we would easily be top 10 of all time club sides.
You can't. I don't think you can. You've won 2 first division titles as an example, right? So if we look at that, right, I know for a fact off the top of my head that Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Villa, I'm gonna say Nottingham Forest. That's 7 teams.
European Cup.
Just those 7 teams, I know for a fact. Everton as well, 8 teams. Those 8 teams have more league titles than you. First of all, if you then start throwing in their domestic and their European successes, they're all above you history-wise. I'm not having a go at Tottenham, but I don't even think you make the top 10. I don't think you do. If we look at most, I want to look at this here. If we look at most English league titles, I'm just throwing this in. We know Man United come top of 13, right? 20, right? And again, this isn't me having a pop at you. I'm just trying to be fair in terms of this. This doesn't actually show. I want to see the actual list as an example. So here we go. So where do Spurs come in? So ranked number 1 are Man United with 20. Tottenham come in with 2. You're joint 15th. Just in league titles. Blackburn have 3. Huddersfield Town have 3. Leeds, 3. Wolverhampton Wanderers, 3. Sheffield Wednesday, 4. Newcastle, 4. Chelsea, 6. City,
Okay,
6.
talking about that's league title.
6.
Right, that's league title. Okay, it would be interesting to see you start chop overall trophies in English clubs. We're definitely top 10.
Okay, most trophies in English football. I don't know the answers to the English football history. So let's see if there's normally a Wikipedia page for these things. List of clubs most competitive honours won. Okay, cool. So let's look at this now. So you think maybe you are in it? Yeah, you are in that. Cool. I'll give you that. So Man United. So you come in at Man United top. Hang on, Man United top with 66. Liverpool second on 65. Arsenal third on 46. Chelsea come in fourth at 31. City then come in on at 5th on 26. Tottenham, you come in 6th on 26. And then Villa, Everton, there and there. But then we've got a weight. Then you weigh up weight of quality as well. So when you look at then the amount of, if you then go and look at it, for instance, and you look at leagues, you drop right down. So where's your heavy weight coming in? FA Cups will throw you up.
Yeah,
that. But you're really low down on league titles, and league titles are the ultimate barometer. So for me, I would say that you're, on most trophies, it puts you in the top 10, as in biggest history and most league titles and stuff. You're in the ballpark. But there we go. But listen, mate, I appreciate you coming on, having your say. We're going to be ending the stream very much now. Thank you for coming on, bro. Really do appreciate it, mate. Take care. Elite, you're the greatest achievement is you built a stadium and you can't even fill it. There we go. Zane is absolutely destroying him on there, but there we go. I just wanted to throw out that. I've never looked into it. It's nice learning on the job, but it's not been a great 20, 30 years for them. Listen, everyone who's tuned in this evening, it's been a great show, great debate. Really sat here and enjoyed it. Hope you guys got as much out of it as we did. Absolutely loved it our end. Until next time, please take care of yourselves. God bless, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.